Hey guys, welcome back to the Vantage Academy. On this week's episode, we're going to discuss the 7 questions you must ask a client at every appointment before you get started. These 7 questions are going to go a long way to helping the client see you as their trusted advisor and as the consultant and the leader in this process. So let me walk you through these questions. Number 1, ask them what's changed in their world, what's prompting them to want to make a move. And then when they answer, say, well, tell me more. Ask them what this move ultimately means to them. Now, moving can be a real hassle. I want to know what's behind the move, right? So this is going to help you uncover the motivation. It's important that you really understand this and ask the next question. Number 2, what are your fears and concerns about the upcoming move? I borrowed this one from Mr. Brian Buffini, and it's great because fears speak to the emotional and concerns speak to the logical, and this allows you to smoke out what the things are that bothers them, and people really appreciate this question. It means you care. It demonstrates both your character and your competence. Number 3, this is a service question. Ask them, what does a 10 out of 10 experience look like to you? I like the way Gary Keller's goes through it. What is it, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2, even 10 plus 3? This allows you to ask them the same question 3 times and elicit 3 different responses. But at the very least, you should know what 10 out of 10 or what 5-star experience is and what it means to that particular client. Okay, next up. What is important to you when deciding to work with an agent? This is a really key question. Now, lots of times you'll get answers like getting the most amount of money or getting a good deal on a home. But if you probe a little further, you can get some actual thoughtful answers. Things like trust, mutual respect, not feeling pressured. You can find out where these people's hot buttons are and where the potential roadblocks could be. So this is a really important question to understanding how they want to be served so that you can customize and tailor your service to them. Number 5, this is the most overlooked question. Is there anyone else that we need to be looping into this process out of respect or to get their valuable input as we go through this process? Now, this is very important for buyers, sometimes for sellers too, but a lot of times buyers will have an uncle or a brother or a friend that's going to come into the process later as the sales prevention team because they haven't been part of it. So it's important to ask this question up front so that you know, is there anyone that you need to be speaking with now to get their buy-in? Number 6, what needs to happen before we're able to accomplish your goal? This is a good question because when framed like this, it doesn't sound like what's stopping us from moving forward. It's just what needs to happen before we can accomplish this goal. This is going to allow you to realize that maybe they're waiting on some money, or maybe they need to file their taxes, or maybe there's something that means they're not really ready to go, and this is important for you to know that now. And lastly, and this is the question that's going to segue into your presentation, and it's a great question because it frames you as the professional and it kind of differentiates you from the rest of your competitors. And you ask them, has anyone ever taken the time to properly explain agency to you? You'll be surprised. The answer is almost always no. And so when you say it this way, then you can segue, say, great, well, I've got a little presentation that I want to share with you that's going to explain all the obligations and duties that I have to protect you through this process and the service that I'll be offering you along the way. Does that sound fair? And that segues you into your presentation. So that's always the last question. And once you've taken all these answers down, and you should be writing them down, you should be writing their answers down, letting them see you record their answers. This is going to make them feel like they're in the hands of someone who's competent, someone who's caring, and someone who has a process for success. So there you guys have it. Those are the 7 questions to ask before any meeting begins or before any client relationship commences. And you go a long way to elevating yourself in the eyes of the consumer and elevating yourself in our industry. So I hope you found that helpful. We'll see you soon.